It's funny. Everyone talks about AI. Everyone talks about these side hustles, passive income, crypto, the next big opportunity. But the real thing nobody's talking about is the one skill that actually determines whether you win or whether you stay average. And honestly, this is why most people lose the next decade. And I'm here to tell you it's not because they're lazy and it's not because they can't focus. And that's the dangerous part. So by the end of this video, I'm going to show you why attention is more valuable than money and why most young men are unknowingly destroying their future every single day. And the exact system I use as a cop, a military officer, a homeowner at 25, and a future father to stay locked in when life is getting chaotic. Now stay with me because this might generally change how you live. Now, personal story, a few years ago, I thought success was about working harder, just the grind. Wake up early, lift, work, and repeat. The disciplined habits. And now don't get me wrong, having these habits, it matters. But here's what I actually learned. Those habits were not enough because I watched people who were smarter than me. In college, people were smarter, or I was surrounded by people who were 10 times smarter than me, more talented than me. But here's the deal. They always stayed stuck. Now, why is this? It's because they couldn't hold attention. They'd get excited, whether this was buying the brand new car or getting into the brand new apartment, or they'd have this great business idea, so they'd start something, but then they quit. It was a new goal, a new plan, a new dopamine hit, repeat. Meanwhile, I was working full-time patrol with my military responsibilities, going to grad school, trying to build income outside of my job, buying a house, and preparing for a baby. That's a lot. And if I didn't learn how to control my attention, I would drown. But that's when I realized the most valuable skill isn't making money. It's becoming the kind of person who can focus long enough to make money. That changes everything. Now, main point number one, attention is the new currency. Most people don't realize this. Your attention is being sold bit by bit, day by day, every day by companies worth billions of dollars. Now, I've talked about this before, but people don't even realize that TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, they're all competing for your brain, and they're winning the average adult screen time over 7 hours a day. That's nearly 50 hours a week. Can you imagine that? That's almost like the time you spend literally in your bed sleeping. That's a full-time job spent just consuming. That's more, not creating. Now think about that, because even if you redirected even half of that into building a new skill, whether learning sales, learning content, learning investing, your life changes. And this is fast. And wait until you hear what this does to your income, because this part is where people get uncomfortable. Main point number two, distraction isn't annoying. It's expensive. People think distraction just wastes time, but it really doesn't. It destroys momentum. Now that's worse because you open your phone just for 1 second. You know how you power it on, you got your screensaver, and the next thing it's 45 minutes. Your brain switches tasks. Now, science says it can take up to 23 minutes to fully refocus after an interruption. That's 23 minutes. Every notification, every text, every scroll, that adds up. And that's why some people feel busy, but never move. They're not working, they're recovering from distraction. That's brutal. Now, a personal example, I learned this the hard way. I'd sit down to work on investing research, whether this was my ETF allocations, a rental analysis, just future planning about my future in general. And then my phone would buzz. It would be one message, whether this was from my girlfriend, some friends, or just my family. And now I'm gone. 20 minutes later, I had sports highlights on TikTok, and then it's random videos, and then it's junk. And then I tell myself I've worked tonight. But no, I didn't. I just entertained myself. And that's the big difference. Now, main point number three, the real high income skill. That's what equals deep work. Now, here's the truth. The people making serious money in 2026, they aren't just smarter. They can sit down for 2 hours and do one thing. That's the rare part. And that's the deep work, and it compounds. If you can focus deeply, you learn faster, you execute faster, you build faster, you recover faster, and you become dangerous. That's why some people become unstoppable. It's not because they're superhuman, they just protect their attention. Now, a study from Microsoft found the average attention span dropped dramatically over the last decade. Why? Constant stimulation. Your brain is adapting to chaos. You need to reverse that. Now, main point number 4 is most men are addicted to dopamine. Most men aren't lazy, they're overstimulated. Your phone, music, short videos, porn, gaming, and sugar. Constant hits. Your baseline is broken. Silence feels uncomfortable. Stillness feels painful. And that's a problem because success requires boredom. The guy who can sit quietly and work wins every time. You don't need more motivation. You don't need less noise. That's the shift. So stop asking yourself, how do I stay motivated, and start asking what's stealing my attention? How can I become disciplined regardless of what's happening around me in my environment? Have the different question, have the different life. Here's exactly what I'd start doing tomorrow. Delete one dopamine app, just one. Make it hurt good. Whether this is Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, whatever it may be, delete it. Build a 90-minute focus block with your phone off, door shut, no music with lyrics, one task, and that's it. Now track your attention, not time. At night, ask yourself, how many focus hours did I get? Not, was I busy? Now, number 4, make boredom normal again. Walk without your headphones, drive without podcasts, sit in silence, train your brain. If this is hitting you, good, because that means you know exactly where your leaks are. Fix them. And if you're serious about becoming uncommon, stick around here. That's what this channel is about. Now look, I'm not telling you this from theory. I've lived both sides. I know what distraction feels like. I know what chaos feels like. Whether this is shift work in the police world or the military or going to grad school, trying to build a future, trying to become a husband and a father. This life gets loud. And it always will. The question is, can you stay focused anyway? Because the men who can, they win. Not overnight, but it eventually is all you need. The next decade belongs to people who can control themselves. It's not just their money, not just their schedule, but their mind. Become that guy and watch what happens. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you guys in the next one.